Warning: watch this video or you will regret it. At a certain age, you begin to realize the phone calls are getting less frequent. The old tea table is now just you sitting there, sipping on memories. The people who used to accompany you through your youth, whose laughter echoed throughout the small coffee shop, are now gradually disappearing. Not because they are busy, but because time has gently taken them a step ahead. As for you, you are still here, with a gentle sadness and nameless memories. This video is for us to sit together, remember them, and understand ourselves better. The loneliness of losing friends. At this rare age, the heartbreaking thing is not gray hair or a hunchback, but the disappearance of close friends one by one. There are mornings when you wake up, pick up the phone, and then put it down, because the person you want to call is no longer on the other end of the line. Familiar cups of tea are now only for you to sip. A corner of the park, an old song, a passing scent are enough to make your heart ache. Loneliness in old age is not the same as loneliness when you were young. When you were young, you were lonely because no one understood you. When you are old, you are lonely because the people who understood you most deeply have left. No one calls you by your old nickname anymore. No one remembers the old stories that only the two of you knew. Losing friends is losing a part of your own life history. There are people who used to be youth confidants, friends who knew what you liked, what you hated, who used to sit and listen to you complain for hours without judgment. Now they are only memories. Each name on a tombstone is a milestone that shows that time is taking away more than it brings. But amidst all those losses, the precious thing is that we once had them in our lives. Friendship, even if it ends in separation, is still an inseparable part of the journey of life. And even though friends are no longer present outside, they always live on in our hearts, like a small fire warming us through lonely days. When memories become a shelter, when friends leave, we start to look to the past as a safe haven. Every memory suddenly becomes vivid. The laughter in the rainy afternoons, the time we cycled together along the village road, or the tight handshake on the last farewell. Those images do not fade. On the contrary, they are so clear that sometimes they make our hearts ache. There are times when, sitting in front of the window, we remember the silly stories we told each other, the old shirt we once wore together on a cold night, or the encouraging eyes during difficult days. Those little things which once seemed meaningless now become treasures for us to search for whenever our hearts are down. Memories are not just memories, but also the way those who stay continue to live with those who have passed away. Sometimes we think we can still hear their voices ringing in our ears. Hold on, I'm here. Perhaps that is why old people often mumble to themselves, because they are conversing with loved ones in their memories, people that no one else can replace. And although memories cannot replace real presence, they help us move on, help the pain be soothed by the love we once had. So let's keep those memories as a part of our body, where we can still meet old friends, even if only in our minds. Loneliness, the silent darkness of old age. There is nothing more heartbreaking than waking up one morning and realizing the friend who used to call every day is no longer there. The phone is still there, the chair by the tea table is still empty, and the unfinished stories can never be continued. Loneliness is not noisy, not crying, but it silently erodes the elderly, with a silence that lasts every day, every night. Old age not only takes away health, but also gradually loses familiar connections. A friend dies, we are sad. Many friends leave one after another. We gradually become numb to the pain because our hearts are no longer strong enough to break again. Loneliness at this time is no longer a feeling, but a state of life. We get used to no one calling to ask, used to sitting and eating alone, used to the endless silence in a house that was once filled with laughter. Old people often try to act strong, But in fact, deep inside them is an emptiness that nothing can fill. No matter how much one loves one's children, one cannot replace a friend who has accompanied one for half a lifetime. What is lacking is not material things, but a look of understanding, a familiar greeting, or simply the presence of someone who has walked beside one through many storms. And when that loneliness lasts, it makes the heart become numb. And sometimes people no longer feel passionate about life, not because they want to let go, but because there is no one left to hold them back. How to overcome this silent loss. When close friends gradually leave, we not only lose them, we also lose a part of our memories, a part of our youth, a part of ourselves. But life goes on, and it is important that we do not let ourselves sink deeper into sadness. Because although loss is real, the human heart still has room to revive if we give it a chance. Let's start with small things. One morning, wake up early, make a cup of your favorite tea, listen to an old song that you used to sing with someone. Reminisce not to regret, but to remind yourself that you once had beautiful memories. Then slowly, you can open your heart to chat with your neighbor, join a drawing class, a book club, or simply take a walk in the park. Where there are people, there is life. No one can replace a friend who has passed away, but life always has room for new relationships. Not as deep as before, but still enough to give you a nod in the morning, a warm smile in the evening. Don't be afraid to seek new connections. Don't be afraid to express your feelings. And don't hide loneliness as a weakness. Because being strong is not about not being hurt, but about daring to live on, daring to laugh even when your heart is still aching. The person you lost won't want to see you fall, but wants you to live on fully, as if a part of them still exists in your heart. Old age is not easy, especially when each close friend leaves you one by one. Loneliness is not loud, but it gradually seeps in like cold dew in the middle of the night. However, the precious thing is that we are still here, still have time, and still have the opportunity to love, to remember, to live. Don't bury yourself in lost memories. Move on with gratitude because there were people to remember. They will live forever in the good things you continue to do every day. If you find this video touching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to spread meaningful stories about the elderly. Thank you for staying until the end of the video.